I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is February 24th, Tuesday, 2026. Hope you had a good day today. So, still go up and down, sideways, and we talked about obviously either selling or buying. What's awesome is that I had yesterday great. I put my levels on my chart before anyone on the internet did, and obviously you can see it time stamped here, which is pretty awesome. But anyways, point is that here yesterday I was mentioning it for bullish. You kind of definitely want to see bullish candles on the daily keep printing. And look at this. This is just sloppy, dude. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, I haven't seen price action like this in a very long time as far as it like just a bearish candle, a bullish candle, a bearish candle, a bullish candle on the daily, right? We're still, I mean, in the sense, bullish, like, support, we'll call this support, and then it can expand. It's a consolidation. Generally, you'll get a rate and then it can expansion continuing up. If we're to follow just basic price action, right? But with the price sitting underneath here, we looked at this as maybe a crack right here, and then we're looking for the liquidity to the left. But if you didn't have the bias, right, you can actually just follow what the day is actually doing, in the sense of, fucking beautiful day. But before I forget, I want to make sure I mentioned to yesterday that I forgot about this. I didn't draw it. It's so funny, 50-minute videos and we still forget things. We're always going to miss things. But this was a bullish imbalance to be used as an inversion. Bam. So that was what I was missing in that fucking masterclass that I mentioned yesterday and all this shit here. Dude, yesterday's what the video was just fire. And I did it before anyone on the internet, which is crazy. So, and as you see here, we ended up, pushing back up to wipe out the easy sellers from yesterday. And then let me get into today. You'll see that we just moseyed on up, right? And then speaker time again. So let me do it this way. You'll see that very clearly that you got an origin here. You got a high, you got a low, you got a higher high, you got a lower low, you got a higher high, and then boom, you got a lower low, and then we made a higher high. So this was a mean reversion play right here. Caught this trade as well. So caught it, sold it here first. So hold on, I'm bouncing everywhere. So, and I had this on my chart too as well, which is fucking crazy. But you can see this is a rejection wick, and we also, that wick, candle has already took out the previous Asia's highs and all that, right? So we took that out here, and that's accompanying by 7 o'clock hunting liquidity as the New York opens, and then boom, we came down to squeeze out some liquidity here. Didn't take out that guy, but look how it's an equal low. See, this is how the day is framing. I mean, such a fucking beautiful day, but the day is already framed. So in that case, you got that low, and that's still there. So when 9 o'clock kicked in, and I don't trade before 9:30 anymore, but this time I did. Why? Because of the fact that the writing was on the wall. Because we had the midnight level here. We have the, let me just go over the levels that are on the chart. We had the first imbalance from yesterday's opening range gap. You have also the top quadrant not sealed. Remember, we only hit 50% yesterday and we sold off. And then I was very clear. Go watch yesterday's video. I said this right here, talking about this, what was remaining left in the new week opening gap, the liquidity void that was there. Remember, there was no price action there. I drew it in yesterday's video. Okay, cool. So I understand that that's a possibility that we're going to come and balance that. Buyers and sellers didn't go up to do that. The algorithm did. They knew they made a mistake, so they got to come back and seal it. Could they have left it? Sure. But I mean, when the price action is going where it's going, it's obvious where it's getting drawn to. It's not a coincidence that we've today, we went a hair above it right there for the first time at 1 o'clock, and then the fucking day was over, right? Just going sideways. But Anyways, just fire, man. So the point is this. So I'm catching this sell. Why? Because of the fact that we swept so this price action has already swept the liquidity to the left, right, of Asia. And notice how they already swept the lows of Asia. So the highs of Asia, the lows of Asia have already been swept, okay? All damn near in London. So the point of that conversation is that's to tell you it is going to be a speaker day. It is going to be a destroying day of liquidity. It's going to be hunting. So that is a daily profile in itself. Go do the back testing. But now that I see that, but the gift that they gave was that this low didn't take out this low. So, dude, it's literally almost the same level. What's below that? You can see on the 15-minute right here. Very clear that that's right there, right? And then underneath that, you have that low. And then you have everyone that bought up yesterday. Where? From the PM session yesterday of the last macro in the hour of the power hour, which is 315 to 345. Notice how this candle, the 315, it's sitting on that 25%, which I talked about yesterday, and I'm still using it. And this is the 330 candle. So those 15-minute, that 30-minute range, notice how we are hunting, coming right back into it. We didn't even take those lows out. They dangled that carrot as well. So anyone who's selling, and it was a nice, easy sell, people are holding the bag to get to this. So then you get this stupid push up, which is like, dude, what are you going to do, But before I get into that, you can see here, back to this conversation, we had swept the buy side to the left on the liquidity of Asia, and then we came down, did not take out that low, then pushed back up here. How did I get involved here? Because this is a rejection wick. This is a supply wick. So when you jam in it and you tag it, if it is bearish, it is going to immediately sell off. Go do the back testing. It'll immediately sell off and never take out that high. It is exactly very similar to what I discussed in yesterday's video. That's why, it was 50-some minutes, but it was fire. That's why you got to see this. It's the same thing. I got it still marked there. This obviously went higher, but the point is that you want to see it reject. You'll see it. You'll see it happening in order flow. Go do the back testing. You could see that all over the place, actually. But I'm saying that because that was step one here. Well, obviously the raid here with the liquidity, that's the framework. Then step two, let me zoom in. Then step two was we tagged it. I'm not entered yet. We tag it, and I use this inversion. See this? So you got the midnight level. We're above it. So if it's selling, it's going to be the best sells are above that midnight level. And then we have this suspension block that's an inversion. It's got a gap on top of each other. It's a high probability. Why? Because it also is the candle that pushed up to raid that liquidity right there here and get into that wick. But when it closes back in like that, that's telling you like, okay, that's weak. We're on an overbought. So we're ready we already squeezed everyone here. They also want to build liquidity on the top side. And when we come down when 930 dumps and pumps, it's a dump and pump profile. Then when we come up, we're gonna get all this easy liquidity. This was fucking easy. I'm gonna be honest with you. This was easy. Okay, and if it wasn't easy for you, then that's okay. You might be new. It's fine. But the point is that that inversion, I got it dragged out. Look how it's laying on the quadrant of that. Look, it's laying on that midnight level with that inversion. That's a key level, right? So we pop in. Let me zoom back in because I want to zoom back in. Really zoom in there. Look at that. Look at the bodies. There are no bodies on the upper half. Period. You're like, why didn't you use that one? I could have, but it didn't even matter. Price was gone already. But I used this one. This is how I got in. That's how I pushed enter. That's how I pushed sell. So look at the candle. It's a swing high. The highest level is the 902. And then look at the body sitting at 50%. These are the characteristics with what I just mentioned of the setup that I'm talking about. That's how I was able to push sell. Then the next candle just pushes out, and now we're out of it. We're out of it. We're not even tagging back in there. It's over with. And then I draw the order flow here, and I kept it simple here just so you can see it. Then bearish imbalance. We tag in it. Okay? Tag in it. All right? No, if you're waiting for that breakout level, you're not gonna get that sometimes. That's why you gotta push enter as soon as it gets in the imbalance. Boom. I'm already in it still, just so you know. Right? And then yes, you could have used that. Yes, you could have used that. We here they tagged in it like it was gonna buy. First of all, that's why I didn't use this inversion yet. Then this next candle, this 958, that one closes here. 959 closes, now it's closing at 50%. We came underneath it and came back underneath it to the 50%. That's why I entered here, and I did not use it here, because what if it did buy back up from here, right? So that's me playing it on the safer side. Anyways, so you see these two consecutive candles. I got the mark of the open, and boom, we tag it. We come underneath, we tag it with this 911, we tag it. Boom, we leave away. Now we have the 911 up candle. I've already got it marked. It's obvious, right? And there's an imbalance in there. No, I did not draw it, and no, I did not need it, but I am looking at that. And yes, I pretty much did use it, but I didn't need to use it because I used that up candle. But I'm going to just do this for the sake of I know I did it. Okay, and then we're tagging in that, right? Notice it's the 50%. So yes, if I was looking at for an entry, I would have tagged it, and I would have drawn it and all that bullshit. But notice how it hits the 50%. You can't make this shit up. But me, I'm just marking it, knowing that it's gonna tag it and then take off. And that's exactly what it did. Slithered all the candles. I talked about trailing yesterday methods and all that. So go watch it again. And I talk about this damn near every day. Give it a candle or two, so you don't get wicked out. But man, trailing 930 opens up. Remember, we haven't even hit this yet. So you're holding the fucking tray. You're going to hold it. You're in that 9 o'clock candle, by the way. And then after here, and I got it circled here. Why? Obviously for the equal lows that I've talked about. And then I've got the gap. The present day gap is sitting in this old weak gap. And then we're going to be drawn to that. Why? Because, you have liquidity here, and then you have imbalance here with, breakout area in a sense. But the breakout area is also the opening day gap in red here, because when it went above it, people are making decisions on buying it because it's now above that gap, right? So it's a bullish day when it's fucking above it, right? It's very common sense. So I'm using the circle underneath it. I'm making sure that I circle underneath that because I am expecting it to cross past this level. I'm not fucking talking about buying from above it. I'm talking about it has to cross below it. I don't give a fuck what this day does, but that's the point, right? So anyways, I think I'm beating a dead horse. The 930 here. So the 930, what does it do? It fucking pops up, tries to ramp. Look at the previous candles here. They're all bearish candles. Is that one a bullish one? I don't know. It doesn't really matter if it is. Okay, I'm going to zoom in here because I want to show this. See how the 930, I'm sorry, not 930. See how this 926 candle is an up candle and all of these candles are bearish? Notice how the 930 opens up. It shoots down to the gap, but it misses the daily gap by a tick. You can see that. Then it shoots all the way up. Where? I didn't draw it, and I should have, but I'm going to draw it now. That up candle. These are consecutive 3 down candles. So when it popped all the way up, what's the open here? Look up here. Look up here. Look up here. What's the open of this candle here? The open is 826. Okay. What's the high of this candle? 826. That's perfect. Okay, so why am I saying that? Because of the fact that it's a lower low to a lower high. So I'm gonna just draw the structure real quick. Um, just to make it fucking simple. Okay, and then coming down, right? That was kind of a bad drawing. Oh my god. Let me do it again because I didn't include the. Just hold on. So yes, this control price. It's just slithering, and then the structure starts to widen out. Is basically what I'm saying. So that's the control of price. So let's just say we came all the way down with the 930 candle, then we came all the way up, and then we came down. One more retracement, and then we broke lower. Okay, now you can see that very clear, obviously, right? So control, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. I know that's obvious. You can see that. Oh, I can see that, bro. Okay, well, for the person who said that, you don't got these levels on your chart. So, and I'm doing it before anybody on the internet. So, okay, not only that, but then so we're tagging that up candle perfectly, and then structure it. In the same example of this, see how this candle pulled back in and closed. That is a sign of reversal. Okay, so when we get this candle and it's weak and it pulls back, this next candle, 931, pushes up and then it just shot straight through. Why? Because yes, the 930 candle did take out these equal lows, but now we're still coming lower, right? So into the information I told you here prior, and look at where the -1 standard deviation from Asia is. And if you were to do the quad, if you see this quadded gap that we're still using, notice how it didn't hit the top 25%. That's to show you it's exceedingly bullish if it pushes back up. But if I was to put another, if I was to quad in the top 25% and the high, that would be an eighth sitting in here. And if you look to the right, it's pretty much referencing that level as well. So that being said, and I'm going to go back into the video, you'll see that we pretty much getting our drives here. It's like a 1 drive, 2 drives, 3 drives, 4 drives, 5 drives. But, I don't ever count the first drive until we break liquidity. So this liquidity here, this low, which is made in London, look to the right here, we already tag it here. So I don't usually count that as a drive. I'll count it here from here. So 1, oh my God, 1, 2, 3. You can't make that shit up. All right. So with the confluence that I left this staggered on purpose just so you can see this. All right. So now they have swept liquidity. They went back to the power hours macro of 315 to 345. And then on top of that, we had our little drives. We get this candle here. Oh my God. We get this candle here, this 937, wicks down, takes them out and closes all the way back right there. That's exceedingly bullish. And then this stupid candle 938 just shot off. I was like, bro, it was so fast. I didn't take it and I missed it. And I was looking at the time, I was looking at fucking VIX, and which was beautiful. Oh my God. So for example, when we dumped at 930, we dumped, we went down first and then we bought up with that stupid candle. Well, VIX was shooting up and we were on an overbought. And I was sitting here trying to time it right. And I swear on my mother, by the time I looked over, dude, the candle was gone. I was like, bro, what? Because I don't have the same focus I used to have because of my health right now. So it is what it is. I got to just be stronger or push through or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, when you see these gaps right here coming down with the VIX, what I'm sharing with you is just absolutely fucking secretively fire. I'm letting you know. I mean, because this type of trading, the way that I trade, it's phenomenal. It really is. But and I'm not being arrogant. I'm just saying, like, these tools that I'm sharing with you, when you have these confluences matching, and then you need experience, because if you're struggling and you're still new and you need time. Excuse me. But anyways, when we bottomed out with NQ and we topped out here with VIX, then we started shooting down with fucking, excuse me, with I gotta take some water. Give me 1 second. Okay, Jesus. All right. So, anyways, we started gapping down with the VIX, and then we started shooting the hell up. So, right at that moment, fuck, I got hiccups now. Right at that moment is this. So I'm watching this. I'm like, dude, are they gonna bust through or not? And then gone. Now, if I go into a smaller time frame, could I have caught this? Well, probably not still, but unless I just use a momentum entry. Like that's the only way I really entered this is if I used momentum based, like having a buy stop, for example, like here. And then or this inversion that I did not draw, and like as soon as it goes right over it, you're pushing buy. I'm not doing that though. And then because technically you want the candle to close when it closes above, and now it's this fucking high, right? But you can also put your buy stop on these consecutive 2 down candles at the open. Even you don't even need to wait for the high, but the high would show a break. And then, that's just another way to do it. I'm going to go to a 15-second just to say that I did it. And just real quick. Yo, this is just so fire, dude. You have no idea. And look, no imbalance. No imbalance. Right there. There's your first one, right? So, and you see it taps in, right? I'm not going to draw it. And it's, oh my God, I did it again. Why do I keep fucking doing that? And then you can see it's tapping the 50%. Right there of the opening range gap. Now we're back above that daily gap of today, and so on. Right? Again, I could talk way more about this too, but the point is that, and or if you don't use those methods, it's. I told you yesterday. Every single bullish candle, when it closes, you gotta push buy. As soon as it fucking closes, and the next candle opens, you gotta push buy. Otherwise, it's gone. That's it. There's no other fucking entry method. Okay? There is no other way. I just gave you every single possible entry method here. But what's the narrative? The narrative is that we're still using this as support, so-called. We have squeezed and took liquidity out. We have a speaker going on. So we expect it to either come to the mean reversion here or above it, which is we came above it. And then that came back down into mean reversion here, which I'll get into a second. But that's it. That's the narrative. So, it didn't keep going lower. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, I changed that projection here. It was yesterday in the video, I had it here, I believe, right? And the -1 would have been down here. And I measured that big range, and it's just too much to deal with because it's so internal. So I got ADD. So before I veer off, for example, I measured this. We pushed down to 101.5. Then we pushed back up to a 101.5, which is this right here. I got a measurement here. Then we got into a 101.5. This is where this price action is sitting here. Let me delete. I don't want to delete it because if it does keep going down, I want to use those projections. But and then from here to here, it's 101.5, right? And then, oh God, what is that? Real quick, just give me a second. Yeah, so that's the 101.5. See it now? It's clear when I open it up. Then I measured these two. I got these two sitting there, and then we came back down to this -2 to 101.5, and then from here I measured up, and then we were in 2 to 2.5. All right, so we came up. Then I measured these two guys here. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back into present time. I have this measured here. If I'm assuming that it would have broke down, and then the -101.5 is here, and then now this is me talking about this projection. Initially, I had it yesterday here to here, but then I changed it. So let me go back. I changed it to this because it's actually more correct, because that's a high, that's a higher low, and then that's a high, and then it's a break. So when we came in yesterday, we came down to a 1 and 1.5. That's my point of my conversation. So we came back into that, and if it's bullish from here, it's going to buy from that 1 and 1.5, and that's what I'm explaining about that narrative context of today. Excuse me. But anyway, speaker time there. And then let's get back into it. Then let me go back to a 1 minute. So so anyway, it's gone, and those were the methods you took. And I generally don't want to be involved, but this is a dump and pump. It is my model though, but they caught me off surprise with it. Now I could have got involved, but I didn't need to. It's okay. So I waited for the order flow. What have I been teaching in these past days? If my model's a dump and pump, it'll turn into a buy, sell, buy. I think I've been talking about it all week. Why? Because yeah, we're going sideways, but the dump and pump, the pump, once it pumps, it turns into a buy, sell, buy. So you can see the speaker here. I don't need to draw it. I definitely don't need to fucking draw that, right? So that's why I got this quadded. This is a fair delivery speaker mean reversion playbook model. So low to high. Ooh, where did we go? First of all, we shoot up so fast because this was easy selling. It was easy selling, and you had to have took profit. If you sitting here waiting for this and you think it's gonna sink to hell, well, dude, it could have. But let me tell you something. That's why they whipped it up, because everybody is hard for trying to sell it through. Now you don't, again, yes, I'm bearish, but in the same time, that's just way too much profit to not take the profit. And then you could get back in possibly if it shows you that, but with a candle like this 938 I'm talking about, that's not bearish right there, right? So it's engulfing literally all this price action. And it's not like 940, the next candle shot all the way down. And it's not like 938, I'm sorry, 939. Okay, so the 938, this big stupid candle, it's not like it wicked down and it got weak and it would close as like a half candle or whatever. No, it closed up here, first of all. And it closed above that first imbalance. It's a little small one, and it's debatable about using this one, or even the 938, since this is very prominent that we're going to come right back to and use this candle eventually. I'm just going to leave it at this one. Why? Because it's literally laying on that daily level of the open daily, open right there. Look how I have it highlighted. Look at that. That cannot be random. I'm going to open it up. All right. God, why aren't you not stronger? All right. So look at the 50% of that daily gap. Is damn near the same. It's the exact same level as that imbalance. So I'm going to use that. And then also you got the bottom 25% quadrant right there. But that's just, it's TMI right now. But the point is that this kind of candle, it didn't close weak. And then this next candle, this 939, didn't shoot down or, and that still could have been a buy. But I'm just saying like when you see something like that, that's showing you we're going on the other side. And what context do you have? You have the easy run on liquidity. So the draw on liquidity was obviously coming lower first initially, and then going up is taking the left side, because now what? You have that high and that high, plus this easy fucking slithering down. And then what's up here? Yo, you can't make this up. So that's the first imbalance from yesterday. I have it dragged and I used it. So we pushed up. I'm not buying up here, but we pushed up, right? Let it go there. Boom. When we got into this first imbalance of yesterday, which is Monday, that's why it's important, because it's Monday. And you can see that we tag that bitch. And then we immediately, I get in how I get in on the sell. Where am I selling it? I'm selling it right back to the mean reversion. I got it highlighted right here, 50% on purpose. And then what's underneath that? You have this gap here. So where's the high probability? Well, you have the liquidity on the upper half that we're rating. Number one. Number two, this is a suspension block, so it's a high probability gap, common gap that we're going to use as a bullish tool to buy. And you can see that we slam right to 50% of it. Like, you can't make this up. How did I get it? Okay, well, right here. Same idea with these wicks, and I've already taught this yesterday, so I don't need to beat a dead horse. And it looks like I'm never going to make short videos by doing this, but I'm going to have to do something. It just needs to be said. Take a look here. Look at the fire here. So we got this last up candle. This is a rejection candle. Now this candle here, this 949, this has a higher body, but look where it goes to. Take a look here. Now this is not where bearish or bullish candles are take precedent than the other. This is not that situation. This is the highest wick. So I'm using that. Number one, first of all, we already tagged that 50%. Number two, and yesterday I think I forgot to mention that this was a breakout area, and then we were when we sold off, we were using that as a breakout area and an imbalance. You can see that right there on like the 15-minute, for example. But here, you can see that we had that liquidity from yesterday. We're tagging those guys, but we're tagging the 50%. Yes, it went a hair above. Who cares? It fucking went to reference that. And I know I got a speaker going on here, right? It's very clear that you have a mean reversion speaker going on right there. So if I'm trying to sell it, I'm going back to the mean reversion. You can see this 949 tags it. Dude, as soon as it tags that 50%, I'm taking the trade. My stop loss is at the top 75% of this wick. 950 comes in. Oh, what is that? We have the macro kick in of 950 to 1010. So you got time, you got the price aligned with each other, and you have the model, which is the context of coming back into that 50%. Dude, I literally squeezed it out right to this bitch right here. Just beautiful. So anyways, notice how we tagged that 50% first, and then this next candle opens up, and then it tags the bottom quadrant. And then this 952 tags below it. But are you noticing? What else are you noticing? What else are you noticing there? That the open of that candle is basically the low of that fucking first imbalance from yesterday, AM session. I don't even show the PM sessions anymore. It's just too much. I don't need it, and it's just, it's messing up my chart on the 1 hour. But I'm gonna probably start putting it back, but it's just not necessary for me. But it's just a little overkill. But you see that right there, dude? That's perfect. Look at it. What's the low here? 940 and a quarter. That's that open. That's the open. The open is 940 and a quarter. What's the high here? 940 even. So it fell by a quarter. It fell by one tick lower. Now, in this instance, if you're like, you're a beast, and you see these things, and you've been using these methods, and you put your limit order. Let's just say you got a limit order right here. Well, you didn't get filled, right? So you generally want to put it a tick below, because it might go a tick higher than the open, but you generally don't want to see it go any higher. Yeah, it could have went here or whatever, right? And your stop loss should generally be here. But the point of the conversation is that, it fell a tick below. So, that shit happens. Anyway, structure coming in here on the 15-second, you will also see the structure. If you were more conservative and waited for that, then you'll see it here. God, I gotta go. Another entry method was, the way I got in was this, which I'm about to share with you. So there's a notice. There isn't. I don't have it drawn, but there is a bullish inversion right here. And that has a gap on both sides, so that's a suspension block. So it's a high probability. It's higher probability bullish balance there. See that? And then I can get this quadded. I'll talk about quadding the actual first imbalance from yesterday. But you'll see here that, if I had nothing on the chart and I just had the candles, notice how we came down and we closed solidly above this last up candle. This last up candle raids, and is generally speaking going to start a sell model in this case, where you get the constant structure. See the higher high, higher low, higher high, and then boom. It doesn't break here though. So in this case, this is an aggressive entry, but notice how we're using the algorithmic gradient levels, but we're slowly going away from the gradient levels, and that's the key here. But with this, oh my God, with this confluence on the 15-second, Now, once we close below, I'm using that as an inversion bullish imbalance is basically what the fuck I'm trying to say. And then you'll see that we end up having no bodies eventually here, underneath here, and we tag it, and then it's gone. But, so what I did is I let it come down first. I'm telling you what I did. I let it come down first. It closed below that inversion. Then I'm looking for a lower high because I'm going to see failed lower highs on the right side of the curve when we're coming down, right? Okay, it's very clear, right? Yo, I'm telling you, man, this is fire. So I'm expecting these lower highs to be performing on the right side. So there it is. That's my fucking lower high. It's a failed lower high. So you're like, dude, but the structure didn't break yet. It doesn't matter for me. I didn't need to. I know what's happening. Just your experience. I'm going to draw this structure here. Higher low. Higher high. Higher low. Very clear. Raid. It's strong. And technically there is a break. There's a high right there. The candle comes back. There's a higher low right there. It pushes up above that previous high. And then boom, breaks. That is a break. I'm drawing it. If you don't see that, that's fine. And you're saying, I want to see that break first. That's fine too. You could have done that. It does it here and then it pulls back in. And then that would have been your entry. But look at this. Lower low. So this is a low. And then here's my internal lower high, low risk sell. Plus to the addition of everything I fucking said already. And then it does this. I'm just going to do it here. Then it comes up. Then it breaks. All right. Now I'm gonna move it to the side. I have a lot of great experience when it comes to structure of price because I've been watching that shit forever, right? So that right there, that's a break. But you're saying, well, it didn't break that one. Yeah, it did not, and it could have still bought up from here. But I have the wick narrative. I have us tagging that first imbalance. I have us already fucking everybody to the left of the chart. And now I have a mean reversion here. And I know that this was fucking easy to buy all the way up. And I know that we're coming back in for that. Right? So you have to have the narrative first before you have your entries. Otherwise, I wouldn't take these entries. Right? So anyways, just fire. So this lower high, I'm expecting a lower high. And you will see that a lot of times before it even breaks the low. But there is structure in that wick and that candle right there. You can't see it, but I can see it. Right? But it's not very reliable. But notice how we came right back to that level, which is the last up candle. Why is that the last up candle? Because it has the highest body. Look at that low here. I'm going to delete this now. This is a 15-second chart. That low and that low, that high are the same fucking level. You see it? How it came right back to it? Crazy. Just beautiful, right? Okay. I love talking. I must love talking. 37 minutes. Okay, so anyways, fire there, lower low, lower high, balance right there. I'm not drawing everything. And then right from the midnight level, sells right off, right to that 50%. Underneath the 50% of the actual range. And I'm still on a 15-second. And then shoots straight to it. Likely beautiful here. Using it as support. Then it pushes up here, and then it bounces right. They're bouncing right back on this imbalance, I should say. I'm sorry. And then we're pushing up, and then here you're most likely bullish only for the fact that your order flow is now bullish, and you're on this top of the speaker. But it doesn't mean I have to be involved. But it does come to a mean reversion. Could it have come lower? Yeah, it could have, but it's not really likely, only because we have a high here and a higher low. So the next agenda would generally be a high, and as I told you about the profile of the day being a dump and pump, it turns into a buy, sell, buy. So if that's the case, I'm not sitting here married to keep coming lower. I know to take profit here, and I know if I'm going to look for a buy, it's going to be underneath this or somewhere in this vicinity, where are the bullish tools that you can use? Well, you have this last down candle, obviously, where we're digging into it. Once we keep digging into it, I don't have it drawn, but we have this imbalance that you can see that we're tagging it. We're slowly making higher lows right there, right? Boom, and then we pop up and we come right back in, and then there's this bearish inversion here. It's sitting there. You can see it tagging it there. Boom, and then, okay, and even if you didn't know what was going on yet right here, it's like, okay, what are we doing, bro, right? What are we doing? Oh, well, okay, this candle now pushes all the way up, and it closes. You see that? So, and it closes up here. It's like, okay, well, it can still sell off from there. It could be a lower high. Yeah, that's true. So let's keep looking at it. Then you see, then you see that candle, and you're like, okay, that right there, which is now I'm talking about the 10:20. By the way, the new 4-hour candle has kicked in, and let me go back into this conversation of the 4-hour. Once it has closed like that, and you can see it being bullish as a bullish candle, and you can see it possible swing here, and a lot of strength in that candle. That now we're probably looking for buys for that next 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock candle to push up and expand. Where, remember, we have the context of sealing the fucking remaining of that gap. I told you about this gap yesterday, so that's why I drew it. And then how would you use that? And you would use it like this. So anyways, like I said, if it, with the candle being that high, now you have a momentum. This is a bull flag, a traditional bull flag now. This is when it works. And then this is what retail uses, but it works then. And then you can see a strong candle up here. Should not be up here for selling. That's first of all. And then now it's constantly higher high and higher low. You're not getting a chance in. It just literally slithers back up, just like this slithered here. This is the same idea here. Right? All right. So then you could push buy here to continue if you're doing that, if you're not already in here and you didn't see that, right? I'm just talking, right? Okay. Anyways, let me continue. And obviously X marks the spot, baby. Right to. So then what do? We get to we get back to that first imbalance of yesterday. We come above it. Okay. And then we come retrace back in. Now, if I was to have quadded this first imbalance right here, if I was to have quadded it, all right, you'll see that the top 25%, which is where I'm highlighting and hovering, look to the right. You see how we're dancing on that? It is not going to hit the 50. It's too bullish. It's not going to hit the 50. So it's going to hit the top quadrant. What do you have with that? That imbalance. Why? That's a breakout area, right? So you have a breakout area, you have liquidity, and this candle is what broke through that candle. Generally speaking, they won't really come to this candle sometimes, but we're using the other confluence to the left here. And you're like, dude, this is so confusing. It's not. It really isn't. You're just using it as support. And then notice how we tag in here. We come all the way into the fucking new week gap. And then this is just a consolidation. These little bastards got me before I came up in here. And they retraced back. Where'd it come right back to? It came right back to that imbalance. And then remember, we are still in that top quadrant that I have not drawn. I'm just magically talking about it. And sure enough, they did not come and take out that low. I would have bought it again. They did not take out that low. What did they do? They just came to squeeze so deep, make equal lows. We'll probably take that today in the PM or in the Asia session, but as the market just closed. But point is, if it's not going to go below it and buy, then it's going to buy from above it, is what I'm trying to say. And sure enough, because by now it's like, dude, if you don't know that we're coming for this fucking inefficiency, then they know we know, bro. There's no way they don't know. I mean, so anyways, higher high and higher low, and then it continued up and roll right to it, baby. I mean, come on. I fucking drew this yesterday. So beautiful there, right? And then bouncing around, and then boom, comes a hair above higher. And then after that, that was their agenda. Now they're like, they're probably going to sell. I mean, it might sell off. And notice how they, once we crack this low here, we had a lower low, lower high, and we had a low, and then boom, we get this stupid fucking candle, super dirty, squeezing it. And I don't necessarily know why it tagged that level exactly, but that was the high of the week. Remember, we opened up first. That's probably why they hit it, to be honest. Oh, I'm sorry. That's why. Yeah, duh. Because that was the high of Monday, which is Sunday. So that level is the high of the week. Notice how they snapped right to it. Why the fuck would buyers and sellers snap right to that level, which was on Sunday? Buyers and sellers couldn't do that, bro. That's impossible. You're telling me that from right here, they snapped in a split second to tag that level and then come right back down? Yeah, right, bro. So the explanation is that when we were up here and we tagged above it, and we now have, the algorithm has now accomplished their agenda. Now they're coming back down for, these late buyers here, and then built liquidity, and then they ran right to it and they tagged it, right? So anyways, and then you get this, and then we're just sitting around. Okay, now I am doing way too much, man. Fuck. But I hope that made sense for everyone here, and that's just fire. What? And then when we made that mean reversion, the speaker, and we made that mean reversion, and we bought again from that bullish imbalance that I told you about. That's this lower high here on the VIX, right? So we had that, and then it made a new lower low, and then it just kind of kept going down, right? Not helping with our trades really, but the dollar slowly grinding up. I'll leave that alone here. 45 minutes, fuck. Here at New York, I'm sorry, at the open in New York at 7 o'clock, we had lower highs here with S&P, and we had higher highs with NAS and Dow. So we sold off originally, and then when S&P made a lower low here, and we had higher lows here, right here, which is, I'm talking about the 750, that's when we bought back up. That's when we made those equal lows. Okay, follow me. Then when we came up here and I sold off at 9 o'clock, we had a higher high here with Dow, and we had lower highs here with S&P and NAS. That's how I'm selling it. Then on the fucking buy, you had a higher low here with the 930 and the 935 5-minute candles. Here you had lower lows with S&P and Dow. That's the fucking beautiful buy right there. So once we came up and then we were kind of bull flagging here, we had a lower low here with Dow, and then we had higher lows here. Real even, remember those equal lows that they built, and then that just pushed up. Nothing else to really say. Dow pushing back up to get some of these easy breakout sellers. So this is still bearish flow, and then, yeah, even though we still bought up, we're still thinking it's bearish though, because of now, look at the candles, look at the previous day closure yesterday, and then us having a half day compared to yesterday, right? Doesn't it look like it's fucking gonna be selling off from here? Like we're just gonna get this huge push through? Well, anyways, I've already been talking about this, and then now we came up to squeeze out sellers. So to me, the structure would be like, this is like a lower high in a sense to then push back down. I'm just keeping it simple, but I can talk more about the conversation, but very similar shit here. All right, tags in that an imbalance right there, breakout area. There's an imbalance. Obviously, it's large, but it sucks if you had to enter, and that would be your only form of buying. You want to put your stop loss down here? That's why we don't fuck with Dow. Okay, so coming right back, this down candle though, beautiful. I'm not going to draw it, but you can see this down candle, these consecutive. Look at the open right there. Look to the right. Boom. Nice breakout area. This imbalance right here was nice, but dude, who wants to fucking buy that? S&P kind of going sideways again. Not that helpful. Not as bearish as Dow looking. But this fucking area here, as you can see, look at this. Was a 1 minute chart, and this is a gap that I'm using. This is a 1 minute chart. Notice how we had bodies here, and then now we don't have bodies here. Notice that? I'm just talking just like the 1 minute example I've been giving you. So notice how we're starting to fade away from it, but at the same time, remember, it was all price action up here, getting wide open, and then now we're kind of like underneath. So I'm still leaning to bearish, but it's still neutral, bro. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what else I can say. But did you have to have a bias today? You did not. You did not necessarily have to have a bias today to still be involved with any one of those trades. You really didn't. If you didn't look to the left of the chart, but you noticed that they swept liquidity first here. See, this was that sell model. They ended up coming lower and sweeping that liquidity, right? So obviously Dow made that lower low, right? I drew that, right? Didn't I draw that? I didn't even draw that, did I? Why is it not showing on oh, I was looking at S&P. I'm tweaking. Okay, cool. Right. So there's another, I didn't draw it. Okay, so this very clear that we made a lower low here with S&P, and we had higher lows. Yep. We had higher lows with Dow, and that's just telling me we're coming back down. I mean, I don't know. I don't see for them to be really bullish. Look at that shit. So that's the other beautifulness there. So again, sideways. I'm neutral bearish still. Seasonality, it's bullish though, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, okay, so they immediately get the dump. They don't even get the push up or anything, just straight dump, couple drives only. They swept that sell model. So that was a sell model. And then this became a buy model. So it came all the way back up. Came back into that the 25%. You can see that it came back into their imbalance there and tagged it there. And then, 50% of the range. Where's 50%? Right here. Where's, discount? It tags it. And then same idea, right? Fuck. And then NVIDIA, with the push down initially and then the push right back up, dude. So it's like, it's like no matter what we do, it's just like we come right back. It's like, okay, it's like they're saving the market with all their fucking might. Because I've never seen any price action like this in a way. Because at the same speaking is that for it to be down here, we should have already pushed up. Number one. Number two, and if it's this low and we're down here, we should be rolling through down, right? Now we're at an overbought on the 1 hour. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't see it pushing up again. If it does, we're bullish because it's going to take a lot for that candle to push up, right? But look at back and forth right here. So sideways. We're stuck in this here. So we're stuck in, and by the way, on that big quadded range here, see this big quadded range? Look at the bodies are above the 25% now. Look to the right here. Look, this quad right here. To the right here. There's no bodies up here, so we're using that support. We're bouncing on that, man. And we're coming right back to the mid. If I was to quad this here and put an eighth in between this 50 and here, look to the right. We're tagging this. All this price action is tagging that middle quad that's not, it's imaginary, it's not there, and that bottom 25. So we're stuck inside there, right? As you can see, also we're stuck. As you see this 101.5 right here with this price action, and down here to just 2 to 2.5. So we're stuck in between here, right? But we are in the lower half of that range. So that's generally speaking either the greatest buys ever or we're weak and we can't even make it above. What else can I say here? And I made a long ass video again, man. Oh man, it's so annoying. 53 minutes, but look at the shit that I have got done explaining. And look at all the things I have mentioned. Like, bro, like that's a lot. Huh. And looking at the seasonal data, it being the 24th, we are supposed to, if tomorrow's the 25th and I'm looking at this data, we're supposed to sell off. So just so you know, the 30-year and the 15-year, they show us still consolidating. The 15-year going more up higher a little bit. And then we sell off in March. The 30-year is going sideways and we sell off in March and then buy back up. watch yesterday's video, the 23rd. We're going to be referencing those drawings that I made. And then the 5-year shows us selling off really fucking hard, like tomorrow. So, what else am I missing here? But yeah, did you need to, what were the key ingredients today? We have this liquidity down here. We have the inefficiency up here. So if we're up and down, if we're consolidating, we're going up and down. So wouldn't you be buying when it's down here and selling when it's up here, right? So that would be kind of like a framework too, right? Me catching this trade from here to here by itself, I didn't need to know if we're bullish or bearish. I just used that mean reversion play, right? So you guys take care. God bless.